to call our briefing session to order. Welcome, everybody, to Monday, November 6th, City Council briefing. And first off, we're going to have our roll call.
Council President Kinnear.
Present.
Councilmember Bingle.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Ulrich.
Present.
Councilmember Stratton.
Here.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Present.
Councilmember Zappone.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
Great, thank you. And we have an interview for Board and Commission, OPOC, and Shelley Ripley is here in person. Come on up to the podium and introduce yourself. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Council. My name is Shelley Ripley. I'm an attorney at Hawley Troxel, which was formerly Witherspoon Kelly. I've been with Witherspoon Kelly, Hawley Troxel for, well, Hawley Troxel 10 months, but Witherspoon Kelly 26 years. Born and raised in Spokane. I'm a CPA, graduated from Gonzaga Law School quite some time ago, at least 26 years ago. And again, born and raised here, went to Gonzaga Preparatory High School, graduated from Eastern Washington University and Gonzaga University School of Law. I am now an empty nester as of this year, and that has given me the opportunity to start being able to have time to give back to the community. And when I was contacted by attorney Lyndon Smithson, and my kids play soccer, and Lyndon has a strong soccer affiliation, that's how I know Lyndon, asked if I would be interested in applying for this position. I sat down long and hard. It is something completely different than I've ever done before. I'm not a criminal lawyer. I am a real estate lawyer with financial. I represent banks, and thought, you know, this might be a nice segue to do something different and also to give back to the community, and so I applied.
Questions for Shelley? Councilmember
So
Wilkerson.
again, Shelley, thank you for applying in your history. Why do you want this position?
Again, like I said, I think I'm uniquely positioned for this position. One, that I have a legal background and an analytical background, understand statutes, rules, orders. I understand how to read and put them together. And I think with my legal background, being able to do the analysis and analyzing complaints and whatnot, I just makes me uniquely qualified for the position.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, thank you here for coming chatting. I was wondering if you could explain what you think the mission and idea of the Office of Police Ombudsman is, and how will you as a commissioner fulfill that vision?
So when I walked through some of the prior meeting agendas and some of the other reports, I did review the materials that were online. You know, my take on that is what we're supposed to do as that commission is to review and analyze complaints and come to it with an objective approach, not an activism approach, but more of an objective approach, and do true analysis of what the complaints are, what's at issue, and then to analyze what's either code, statute, rules, regulations are at play, and to say, is the complaint legitimate? Is it not legitimate? Does it need to go forward?
Yeah, have you reviewed some of the reports that have been issued by the OPOC in the last few months?
I've reviewed the agenda. I went and looked at some of the materials talking about that were online dealing with excessive force. I walked through the excessive force materials. Again, it's not an area I know anything about. I'm a learner. I can read. I don't mind doing that. And so no, I don't have a lot of experience of what they've gone through recently.
Anybody? Go ahead.
So did you have, excuse me, Mr. Long at all when you were at Gonzaga Prep? Ron Long, did he teach you anything?
I don't think so, no. That might be before my time.
Do you know anybody from Marycliff?
My ex-mother-in-law.
You're, okay. So I went to Marycliff, so I always perk up when somebody says they went to Prep. They
Yes,
went
my
college.
ex-mother-in-law was a Mary Cliff grad.
What year did she graduate?
Had to be 68.
Okay, so she's older than me.
Okay.
Okay, all right, welcome, thank you. I just bring it down to a level that, you know.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. You mentioned coming in with an unbiased opinion or a fair practice.
Objective, I think.
Objective was the word.
Objective
Yes, thank you.
opinion.
So I was wondering, how will you have that objective lens at the Office of the Police Ombudsman? Or do you have bias?
Well, I think from my background and just practicing law, looking at cases that come in, again, I represent financial institutions, lenders and whatnot, but you do have to take a look at everything that comes in and have an objective approach to the ability to give the correct, or what I would think is the correct advice. And sometimes clients don't like to hear what you have to say, that, you know, it's wrong. Or sometimes you have to tell them you're right. And I have done it. And I'm willing to take hard line positions, and I'm willing to, but I'm also willing to listen and listen to other people's opinions and listen to what other people have to say. It's something a lawyer has to do. You have to be a good listener as well as give advice.
I had a follow-up to that. Yeah, I guess more specifically, I'm wondering how will you view police accountability? Because fundamentally, this office is to hold the police accountable. And so what is your theory about police accountability? And
Well, I think everybody, not just police, everybody needs to be accountable in their profession. And there are rules, there are guidelines, there are regulations you need to follow. I have an ethical code that I have to follow. And if I have done something, you know, we have a bar association that you can file complaints with. And I think it's the same approach with the police. You have to assume everybody's doing their job and that there's unique circumstances. Not everybody's good, not everybody's bad, and not everybody's perfect, and people make mistakes. But I think you need to look at each complaint or each situation for what it is and analyze it, again, with the current codes, regulations, operating procedures.
Anybody else? Okay. Shelley, thank you so much
you.
for putting
Thank you.
yourself out there. And Jacoby, when will we be? Next week. I don't even have to complete my sentence. He knows what I'm going to say. So we will vote on this next week. You do not have to be here in person. You can watch on TV, however, in your
All right.
pajamas and be comfortable. So next week we'll be voting. And again, thank you so much for your,
Thank you. Thank you for having me,
forward.
and thank you for your consideration.
okay. Let's move on to November 6th. We have a request to suspend council rules to add the Human Rights Commission youth position. Now, this is a reappointment, so it's not a new position. So I just would like to add it now. So can I have a motion to suspend rules for this?
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
I just have a question. Do we have to suspend the rules to get this done? Can we not get it done in the future meetings? Is this something that's necessary? Is there like a timeline? Like, why are we suspending the rules to get it done?
To vote on this tonight.
No, I understand we want to vote on it tonight, but I obviously hate it when we're suspending the rules,
know.
and I would like us to just be doing it through the proper course of
The
things.
administration asked us to do this. So you could take it up with Garrett if you'd like.
I could say this has been a vacant position for quite some time, and this, I think it got lost just in a lot of things. She's been waiting,
Okay.
and so there's really no, and it's a reappointment to make her wait any longer for this position. She's a teen. Her school year is half over, so. we want
Garrett
some-
doesn't have much to add.
Sorry, Councilmember Bingle.
So, where were we? We had a motion and a second.
to add.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, okay. Now we need to add the item, so can we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll be voting on that tonight. And then going to number 12 on the current agenda, I'm going to be asking somebody to come tonight and talk about number 12 to make sure that we have some reassurance that this will be finished on time and at or under budget. I don't know if we want to do it now.
We do have staff here if we want to address
Okay.
those questions now.
Okay.
So we have Seth McIntosh, Lauren Searle, and then also just Lyndon, too, from
Okay.
a legal perspective.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Let's get that done. I'll feel better. So I know that CUNY Construction also did the Post Street Bridge. There were some issues with cost overruns. There were some issues with just timing, getting things done. It wasn't the smoothest of operations, according to our former city attorney. So is there some reassurance you can give us this will be done on time, at or under budget?
We did follow the WashDOT specifications as when we wrote up this project that has bidder disqualification portions in it, and also had very stringent qualifications on work performance. And those all were evaluated when evaluating the low bidder, and we did not feel that there was sufficient evidence to disqualify
Okay.
low bidder.
Anybody have questions? Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know. So if they are consistently not on time, is there a penalty?
Yes, yeah, it's called liquidated damages in a project. So there's working days associated with the project. If they exceed the working days, liquidated damages are assigned per day. And I think for this project, they're about $1,000 a day. This is a much smaller project than the current project that they're working on. But it is, that is designed by the engineering department that's appropriate for the size of the project. We also have a lot of other constraints just because it's on the river with the dam specifically, that we are going to be very diligent on keeping them on track as best as legally possible.
I guess I would ask someone to then report out on the current bridge, because it's behind schedule, and what those liquidated damages look like, if they have been assessed.
You
can
Go ahead,
answer that?
if you know that.
Well, you can answer.
You can answer it. No, he can answer it.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I said, well, then at some point, someone from the department can come and tell us what the assessed liquidated damages are on the Post Street.
Oh, I don't know that, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
And then Dan Buller's here too.
Dan waved his hand. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Those are accruing at about $4,500 a day, and we're many weeks into that. So
What is many weeks?
Yeah.
we're multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars into liquidated damages.
Oh,
On the low, I mean, not towards $1 million, but I think we're at least $100,000 into it, and I think closer to 2.
okay. Oh, goodness, okay.
Well, ask-
Do you have a
Do
question?
do those get paid?
Well, they get subtracted from
What we're paying them?
what we're paying
I get it, okay.
them. At the end of the day, at the end of the project, there'll be, they'll have a bunch of complaints against the city, and we'll have this ultimately. Some may appeal to you folks to we'll go over that. But if you think about it, it's roughly $5,000. 20 days is $100,000. That's 20 days is only 4 working weeks, so it doesn't take long to add up when it's at that dollar amount.
Interesting.
Okay, yes.
On Post Street Bridge specifically, I thought we ran into some complications that slowed down the process.
And they have some mitigating circumstances.
Okay.
So that's what I said at the end. They'll present their
Right.
mitigating, and
Right.
we'll present ours. So whatever the dollar amount we calculate, that's not what we'll end up with. It'll end up being something less than that.
I got a slightly different story from the former city attorney. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the gentleman here? Great, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, then, moving into final reading ordinances, 36456, administration is asking us to defer till mid-December. I am a sponsor, council members Cathcart and Bingle are sponsors. Is there any appetite to do that?
I'm sorry, which are we on?
We're on
The budget one.
456,
Oh, for
first
today.
final reading ordinances.
And you said defer till,
And mid-December, remember, this doesn't take effect till the first of the year. And they want more time to assess what went right, what went wrong, how to maybe add some things to this that will smooth out the process, or maybe it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a running tally of things that I don't think worked well in the budget process. Happy to share with anybody who wants to listen. And we're obviously still in the midst of that right now. But on this, I'm looking for at least a verbal agreement from the administration that they are going to be filming all of our budget meetings as we film our committee meetings, and I have yet to get that. So if I can get that verbal commitment, I'm happy to defer, but without that, I'm not interested in deferring.
Okay. Well, you're not going to get it today, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think there are definitely things that we all can do better in this budget process. Certainly having access to staff and being able to hear what's happening, for all of us to be able to talk budget at the same time is a really good thing. And I think that the administration has shown that in the last month and a half. And I think that's a sign of good faith. And I would like to partner with them in that show of good faith. And if we deferred it a month to give it some time to, again, simmer and to determine what's working, what's not working, I would be willing to do that. I'd be willing to do it even a little bit longer if that were the case. But certainly there are things that I would like to see in the way that we're doing our budget, because it's such a big part of what we do, and to be involved in it is something that's really necessary for every council member up here to be involved in the conversation. So I think the administration has demonstrated that in the last month and a half, and so I'm willing to give them more time to work through that.
And the sticking point seems to be either the filming or recording of proceedings, because it does change the dynamic in the room. So when people are on camera, they're going to say and act differently than if they're not. So that was one of the considerations. I'm fine either way, but I wanted to make sure the other two sponsors had a chance, or anybody else, to defer. Go ahead, Councilmember Wilkerson.
Well, I certainly can support the deferral. My concern would be, as Councilmember Bingo, will mid-December give them the time to evaluate what has happened and to report back out to us. I don't know if our interim
Yes.
city administrator could speak to that.
Yep, it will. I think some of the consideration, again, is the fundamental of having the meetings. I think everyone's on the same page. I think it's just a matter of the logistics and staffing and the location of the filming. And then also gives us a little time after the 27th of the adoption to get back together again of what worked well, what didn't, under the format of these meetings. And I think as a part of these meetings too, Councilmember Cathcart too will be moving forward of, again, what can we do better in the budget process, earlier in the process, having joint priorities in March and moving forward. And it's really, I think, just the logistics of the filming piece, and that gives us a little bit of time after the budget process, and you have that commitment. We pass the budget, we work together on what works well, where do we want to have it, what are the expectations of the filming, is it just one camera, testing the audio, and that's something too that Brian Coddington's working on with Channel 5 as well. So you have that commitment from us on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just my thought, doesn't this whole ordinance depend on the mayor and the administration cooperating? And if they choose not to attend, they can choose not to attend. So
Pretty much, yes.
I don't see the point of passing something if they're not in supportive of it.
Anybody else? Councilmember Stratton, did you have something?
No, I was helping two little people back there, but I got the gist of it.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess the only thing I would say in response, Councilmember Zapone, is I think measures like these should be not targeted at any particular elected official or administration. They should be blind, I think, to that. And so the idea is, if this is what we think is best practice, and that's the question for this council, then is this what we should put in our code as how we will move forward, regardless of what any mayor or administration thinks? That's kind of my thought of it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with anything in this ordinance. I think it really codified what had sort of been already happening. But again, I think that what Garrett said, commitment from the administration to get it worked out in a month. I'm willing to give you guys a month so that we can all work this out and find the best way for us moving forward.
And we've had conversation. I mean, after those couple meetings, this is best practice. This should be what is happening, and this should be what's happening in the future. To have healthy dialogue, be transparent. Again, establish those budget priorities early on, so we're all working from the same priorities and moving forward. So, again, the principle and commitment of these meetings is there. It's just some of the logistics of where and the format of it.
Go ahead.
Make the motion?
Okay.
I can make a motion to defer till December the 18th.
Second.
Any discussion, further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Who else said nay? Okay, 2 nays. Did you get that, Terry? Okay, good. Thank you. And then moving into ordinance 36459, which is the first reading ordinance, Spencer Gardner did substitute a version before 1 o'clock today, has one small change. Is he here?
He is.
Is.
Oh, excellent. So why don't you speak about this, because you're more eloquent than I on matters of planning.
Sure, I'll try to be eloquent here. This came as a response, a community request, I guess, that came to Councilmember Kinnear. And after talking with her, we put together, it's a pretty minor change. And the effect would be, so just to provide a little bit of context, when BOCA was adopted, which was now almost a year and a half ago, the feedback that we had gotten from developers was that the existing 35-foot height limit created challenges for achieving smaller home types, especially townhomes, and that they needed a little bit of extra height. I think the market has moved towards taller ceilings, and so that's a consequence of that is trying to fit those into smaller footprints. You need a little more space. So that extra height was granted through BOCA. Our proposal under BOH, the Housing Code Amendments that you'll be considering next week, retains that change. So that would keep the 40-foot height limit. But there have been some concerns expressed that in certain theoretical situations, one could achieve 4 stories in a development in those situations. And so the concern was that that seemed out of scale with the areas where these changes are proposed to occur. And so by limiting the height of buildings, not just to 40 feet, but also to 3 stories, it would meet the needs of the developers who we heard from, telling us that 40 feet was important. But also what we heard there was that they're generally looking to achieve 3 stories. There's not a need to create a 4-story situation on the development side. And so on the neighborhood side, or on the sort of the community concerns that came from this, I think it was just making sure that we're kind of honoring the intent of these changes, which is to ensure some level of consistency in the development scale. So the change, to summarize, is that it just adds a footnote to the development table that states that the 40-foot height limit is also accompanied by a 3-story limit.
Go ahead.
Could you, from kind of a planning perspective or in planning parlance, just share what are the impacts to surrounding development with 4 stories versus 3 stories if the height is the same?
So I think, I don't know that there's research backing this up, but visually the impact, if you look at a building with 4 levels of windows and a building of the exact same height but with 3 levels of windows, it feels different. So again, that's sort of a consistency or compatibility argument. I guess that's the main one. I think there's a feeling that this just creates impacts, visual impacts, and concerns about housing looming over neighboring yards, those kinds of things.
And then just one follow-up. When we're calculating stories, is it ground level up, or would a basement be a story?
The basement typically does not count when we're doing things like calculations of floor area ratio, so it would not count here. So a basement wouldn't count against you. The building code definition of story is what we're relying on. So I don't know if you caught that in the text, but there is an actual definition for a story, and it basically says from the floor plate of one floor to the ceiling of that floor is a story.
But that
So
specifically exempts
the building code definition doesn't exempt basements, but I don't know I'm not an expert in the building code. So the building code may say something different about how basements are treated, but from the zoning side, we generally exempt basements from those kinds of calculations, and so they would be exempted here as well.
But would that be specific in the code? If there's a different plan director, different planning staff in the future, they would continue to interpret it the same way?
We could entertain a subsequent substitution to make that even clearer. I'd be happy to work with you on that.
I would add that Spencer's going to be working on a few other things too going forward, so that might be something you want to be more clear for the next. Of course, he's not going anywhere for a long time, but for the next.
Hope not.
It's not allowed, Spencer. Okay, so go ahead.
Do you see this preventing any developments at all?
No. Like I said, when we did outreach with the developers, especially around BOCA and the implementation of BOCA, we heard that 40 feet was important, but nobody indicated they needed 4 stories. And I really think 40 feet would be difficult to squeeze 4 stories into already. So I don't think anybody's actually anticipating that. We have not seen any BOCA projects come through that are using that. It's almost a theoretical concern, but there are situations where it might be a reality. And so the desire was to just make it clear in the code.
Yeah. I guess my follow-up is, we're doing everything we can to make it to be as flexible as possible to allow development in the city. And so this to me seems like, again, a departure from our sort of guiding principle of getting more housing, more density in the city. And so I guess I don't understand why this specifically is something that is necessary versus, the way that it was written currently.
Yeah. Well, again, this came up in a comment from the community to Council President Kinnear, and so we worked with her on preparing this. I don't feel it has any impact really on development, and so we felt it was an easy way to kind of recognize some of the community concerns without unnecessarily restricting development. I will say if there's a desire to think about this a little more deeply, we see this change as consistent with the work that we've done, going all the way back to BOCA and then through the comprehensive plan work. We think that this change is consistent with that. If there's a desire to reevaluate, we expect to come back next year with, I don't know, cleanup's not the right word, but sort of catching loose ends that inevitably you can never anticipate everything when you're writing code like this. And so we anticipate there will probably be some adjustments that happen. And if we do see that there is a limitation in the market based on the 3 stories, it would be appropriate to have that conversation. So,
because certainly 3 windows and 4 windows is going to look differently, but where a single family house was to being 4 townhouses is also going to be a significant visual change as well. And so I don't know that it's a good reason for us to limit that. I don't know how everybody else feels.
The most important thing that Spencer said was community concern. We're addressing community concern with little to no impact on the development community. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the, if this does pass, this amendment pass, I think, because my concern is that just it can have an effect on unique development types and some maybe out-of-the-box thinking in terms of addressing housing. And I think one of the reasons that we face a housing crisis is that for way too long, our code was much too rigid. And so to add more rigidity back into it is certainly not something that I really would like to see us do. But that said, if this does pass, I think there may be a way to split the baby. We had talked about it earlier with regards to, a townhome development where only the townhomes adjacent to the single family would maybe have this restriction and not those that are a lot off or a building off. So.
there is some language in BOCA that's sort of similar to that.
Yeah.
I think we can talk later about timing for that. It might get a little complicated just in terms of how to structure that in the code in a way that's clear. But if we can't get there in the next week, I think we could certainly include that in the items that we consider in the next year.
I was just going to say, certainly hear the community concern. If you're the house next door and you got 4 stories in your backyard and you feel like you're being watched, whether that's the case or not, it would make for an uncomfortable environment on a piece of property that you're living in. So
Okay.
that's really the big, especially you got a swimming pool.
And I hear it. I have 500 apartments going in right behind my house. So, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. And also at the same time, thank God 500 apartment complexes are going in the city, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, Spencer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the work on this. Do we have a motion to substitute?
Motion to substitute.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, 5-2. Thank you. And now we're going to go on to November 13th. Take it away,
Council
Mr.
President,
Jones. What?
wanted to make a motion on C36454.
Hold on.
Solar.
One moment. Who is? Okay, great. And you want to, I'm sorry, again?
Motion to defer for 1 week, C36454, relating to solar energy
Okay.
permits.
Any second for that? So we can discuss?
Second.
All right, now, discussion.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we can, before we vote, if there is a deferral, I'd like to hear from Tammy before we do that.
Tammy, are you back there?
Yeah, and as she's coming up,
Ah, there you are. Come on
the
up.
reason I'm requesting a deferral is that the SAS meets this week, the Sustainable Action Subcommittee. So I think this would be pertinent for them to discuss and potentially provide some feedback. I know that it had gone to them before. Jacoby was managing at the time, but they did not actually have a discussion about it. And so this would provide them an opportunity just this week for a 1 week deferral.
I have one question right off the bat. What does it cost permitting to put in solar panels? What's the cost?
So we're currently doing a fee study right now that breaks down our hourly time. So I don't have that. We know it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for a plan reviewer to review an actual application. So that's an hour of staff time. And then we have the inspectors that go out once those installations have occurred. And Lance can speak to this as well. We're having a lot of issues with improper installation. So we're sending our guys out there multiple times.
Okay.
In fact, it's an average of 2 or 3 times per installation.
Okay. So we're looking at it, what, $400 perhaps? Just ballpark it.
Lance broke his numbers down a little bit better than me.
It's really tough to give you a hard number because whether you're talking flat rate like the DSC has kind of proposed on some of their permits, or a sliding scale rate based on the value of the work done, right? So if for instance, we've done 623 permit inspections this year on solar for fire, if the average system cost was $20,000, now it's my understanding it's probably closer to 30 or better. But you'd be looking at a $1,680 permit fee on our Chart A. We've sliced that to about 20% of that value. So between our commercial sprinkler, commercial alarm, that type of stuff, 20% of that value. So it's about $336 on the fire permit fee side. And that's pretty average when you start looking at the number of trips we've had to do when they aren't ready, calling, backtracking, that type of thing.
Okay.
Again, do these fees go to the general fund? Where will they go back to?
Enterprise.
Well, it's the DSC, of course, is their own fund, right? Fire prevention is a special fund, so some of my fees offset some of my costs. So we can get into theoretically on how much of that should be, but my fee projections actually offset some of my costs up to about 60% average to between 60 and 65% average of my overall fees to run the division.
Go ahead.
But realistically, by starting to charge these permit fees, we could actually hire another permit planner. We could hire, maybe another person, inspector.
I think it's more inspectors, right? Because for me, if we look at the hours I've put in through October, about 435 hours or so of inspection time toward free solar permits. If I turn that into an average inspection time of 0.75 of an hour, which is pretty close to our average inspection time for our inspections throughout 2023 up through October, I'm able to do 573 other inspections, right? So if you talk a base permit fee where my guys could be doing 573 apartment inspections to ensure that our apartments are livable and that they're safe places to live, right? I've had to put those off. And you can see that in my inspection numbers. I'm sitting on 700 apartment inspections that I still have not completed this year. So.
And I do think it is also important to note that for residential, we're working with Solar App Plus, which is a federal program. And so that's going to reduce the amount of time that both of our staff are actually reviewing those residential permits. And that's a flat fee of $25 that they pay for that review. None of that comes to the city. And that streamlines the process and keeps it affordable for residential. So again, where we could potentially see adding is to the inspection side.
Lance, you mentioned that you have 700. Is that preventing them from getting their CO, or is this?
No, this is
Okay.
just annual safety inspections, right?
Okay, got it.
A year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, when I came to you to add more inspectors, I said part of the national standard that we were not getting done was inspecting our multifamily housing on an annual basis. We're trying to get through that first year of inventory on annually, and I'm about 700 behind where I should be right about now, right? And it's because construction inspections always take priority, right? We don't want to hold up a construction job or those people doing those construction work. We want them to be able to go on to their next job and their next job. So construction's always a priority, and then we kick the can down the road on other inspections, unfortunately.
So certainly hear the inspection part. I don't want us to forget that, we have charged ourselves to reduce our carbon footprint, which was the whole purpose of this to begin with. So when we get some more information or a little bit clearer on the costs, I think it should be considered. But we're trying to reduce our carbon footprint. I don't want us to forget that.
Understand. I think Tammy spoke to that really well, right? Part of this offset by going with the solar app is that we're saving probably $100 to $150 plan review fee on the DSC side. We're saving another $105-ish or better on the fire side. So there's $300 worth of cost savings up front. And I think what we shouldn't forget also is the people installing the solar are getting a benefit, right? They're getting their meter turned back. They're getting a savings on their electricity. There's a payoff usually in 15 years or 20 years down the road that they're gaining from already doing that. And I will tell you, if I ran the 623 permits with all the addresses that's sitting on my desk, it's not happening in our low income. Some of them are, but 80% of these are happening on the South Hill and up north. The folks can afford it.
I'm wondering if there's an education problem with installers. Is there a common error that installers are making you come back multiple times? What's happening there?
So they're not using the factory-issued bracketing systems, and they're not using the actual screws that come with those bracketing systems. We've met with an installer, Cathcart and I have met with an installing company, and they recognize that they are using the factory installed. So part of the problem is our inspectors will go, they're damaging people's roofs. They're creating holes, they're not putting the brackets where the support beams are. They're creating holes. So we then want to protect our citizens as well from a bad installation. So we will go back multiple times because it's our job to make sure it's done correctly.
Well, and that installer that we met with, can't say that it's true across the board, but he was sending a lot of his workers to Tri-Cities and the west side of the state because of how challenging it was to get their permits and things like that here for quite a while. And so I think, too, the carbon issue, I mean, the more we can expedite this, the actual more of these we're going to see installed, and so that'd be a benefit.
Go ahead.
And depending on who you ask, because our ordinance says until we get to 50% renewable energy or greater, depending on who you ask, for example, the state's Department of Commerce says that Washington State's energy is 90% renewable. And so depending on who you ask, you get a different answer. Some state departments say we're well over 50%. Some don't include,
It's our reliance
hydropower.
on gas. that
Right,
we still
exactly.
need.
And so for us, I think we're already out of compliance with our own ordinance. I think it just makes more sense to just be clear about it, so.
And we're doing everything that we can to make it simpler for residential installations. We do see the benefit in it. We're partnering with Solar App Plus. So we want to make it easy and affordable, but at the same time, I want my inspectors to have their time recouped because we're trying to make sure that the installation is appropriate and correct.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd have a question for you and more for Lance. If you bring in the extra funding, is it just to offset costs or to actually hire? Will you bring in enough?
I would prefer to hire, but that's a discussion we have to have with council, right? Because we have to decide, is the money I'm bringing in, is it truly enough to hire another person, right?
Well, I guess that's my question. Is it enough? Would you expect it to be?
Yeah, probably for at least one more inspector for fire. You're probably, like I said, we have to wag that number, right? Because we never charged for permits, we never asked for a system cost, right? And so it's very tough when you base your permit value on the cost of doing the work if we don't have good numbers. But based on a $20,000 system and 623 permits, you're looking at about $209,000, which is more than enough to hire an inspector for fire and put money back into either offsetting my other expenses in the division.
Yeah, and for the DSC, we haven't raised any permit fees since 2008, which is why we're undergoing a fee study right now, and we hope to have those numbers to second quarter next year. So we see that we will show a need for more staff across the board. And
Yeah. I was just going to reinforce what Lance said, which was 600 inspections. If they're $300, that's 180,000. You said 209. That certainly seems like enough for us to hire another inspector. Not that I would tell you what to do and how to do it, but if it made sense, I'm about it. So,
Thank you.
Any other comments?
My last comment. I understand it, and I hear you that people who have more resources than ones that are installing solar on their homes. The air does not know who has money and who doesn't.
Yep.
Because the clean air impacts us all. So I don't want us to get hung up on right now who has the resources to put solar on their homes.
And I'll just speak to the motion again, because I think we got off track from the motion.
Yes, of course.
The motion was to just defer so that we can hear from the Sustainable Action Subcommittee. I think it's really helpful to hear your perspective, but it would also be important to hear the other perspective from the sustainable
Okay.
community.
Thank you both. Appreciate your time. All right.
Motion?
Councilmember Zepone artfully stated what we're actually voting on, which is a deferral of 1 week. So all in favor of a deferral indicate by saying aye.
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 And opposed?
nay.
Okay. So we've got a deferral for 1 week.
Who all? I didn't catch that. Who were the
What?
ayes? Who were the nays?
I was a nay.
There were 2 nays.
Oh, that was it. Oh, okay.
I was going to be a nay, and I thought, nay, I'm not going to do that. Okay. All right, now we're going to send it over to Mr. Jones.
All right, perfect. So start us off for the November 13th under the consent. Number 1, we have a consultant agreement, and this will be briefed by Seth McIntosh.
Good afternoon, Council and Council President. This is a consultant agreement with Bridge Diagnostics Incorporated, AKA BDI, for trunnion friction testing on Upper River Dam spillway gates in the amount of $156,947.13 plus tax. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Number 2 is another consultant agreement, and this will be briefed by Dan Bowler.
Item 2 is proposed contract with Parametrics Engineering for on-call construction management services for $800,000 for a 2-year contract with an optional 3rd-year renewal. Parametrics was selected via request for qualifications based on, or rather as required by state law. This contract will be utilized when the volume of construction exceeds the capacity of the city's construction management department, and it will be paid by the various public works construction projects for which they are used.
All right, thank you, Dan. Number 3 is a 3-year contract, and this will be briefed by Michael Sloan.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. We're asking the approval for a new 3-year contract with Environmental Systems Research Institute. We refer to them as ESRI. They're the source of our software for ArcGIS that almost every department in the city utilizes. This 3-year contract, the first year that we're asking for your approval, the first year amount is $167,000. That's only $2,000 more than we paid this calendar year. We were able to do this as we've negotiated. They want to come in and increase our software more than what we like to see. Bill Myers and Company had negotiated with them to limit the step increase through that 3-year contract. So very good job by that team to work with Esri, and Esri's been very accommodating to us as a city. We're a long-standing customer and key to the region. So I'm asking your approval for the first-year contract for $167,000. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now moving on from that lengthy consent agenda, going into the legislative agenda for resolutions and final reading ordinances. The first resolution, 2023-0094, and this will be briefed by Andrew Chance.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you for having me here again. This is actually the third time we've briefed this. We are once again asking for your support in getting our library levy renewal measure in front of the voters this upcoming February 2024. Just a brief update. As we said last time, we're just coming off a successful completion of our bond. This is our second levy, which the original really helped expand our hours and access throughout the community. It was originally passed in 2013 with a 66% approval. The renewal itself passed with over 71% approval by the community. So we're really just looking to continue that moving forward. It's not a tax increase, it's a renewal that we are looking for. And as a result of our bond measure and just a changing environment in our community, we're still settling in to what those operations really need to look like moving forward. And we feel that a 3-year levy renewal gives us enough time to really assess the situation, and should there need to be a different ask in the community moving forward, it would give us adequate amount of time to figure that out. As you are aware, we are seeing some pretty amazing usage of our new facilities. Lots of public programs that are being offered and attended by our citizens. To date, about 43,000 citizens have attended library programs, which is pretty huge. We've had more than 18,000 free meeting, study, and event space reservations this year for a total of 57,000 hours of access in the community. That's a huge return on the community's investment in our facilities. And we also are continuing to build our partnership with Spokane Public Schools to enhance library services throughout the community. We currently are running the technology and collection development for all of the middle school libraries in Spokane Public Schools. And should our funding continue, and our partnership continue, we're looking to expand that access into the high school libraries throughout the city as well. It's a very unique partnership that we have with Spokane Public Schools. And we're also seeing our library visits, continue to climb. Aspirationally, we used to shoot for about 1 million visits a year, and we're well on the way to probably hitting about 1,200,000 visits. So a really dramatic increase in what we're seeing for visitors. So just a financial snapshot, you can see right there, 18% of our funding comes from the levy lid lift. That's a huge amount for us. Expenditures at a glance, we are a people business serving people, so about 70% of our expenditures are on our staff. So if the levy were not to go forward, you would be seeing service cuts because we're an organization run by our people. Projections, we hit on this a little bit earlier, the levy accounting for about 20% of our operational dollars. Really strong support from the community with approvals of 66 and 71% in the prior measures, as well as our bond hitting almost 68% when that went out to the public in 2018. So, Spokane really has expressed a positive support for their library system, and we're looking to continue along with that relationship. So we're clear. Over the next few years, we will be pulling from reserves in order to really meet our service needs. We were able and fortunate enough to have some opportunity to put some money away during the bond, as well as decreased service in the pandemic. So we'll be relying on those funds in order to fully operate for the next, looks like through 2027. If the renewal gets on the ballot and if it passes, The public should expect to see a continuation of what they are already seeing. Again, it's not a new ask, it's a renewal. So it's a renewal of the same services that we're offering. So it includes that expanded access to our reading and technology opportunities. It includes that expanded access to our story times and early learning activities, as well as our support of small businesses through Startup Spokane, and that continued and expanded partnership with Spokane Public Schools, as well as those events that we offer throughout the community, over 200 per month. Those are really hitting really diverse sections of the community, where we're offering cultural events and really serving as a platform for the community to engage with the public around their art and their culture and their viewpoints. If the renewal fails, you're not going to see any of that. You're going to see more than the reverse of that, because a 20% decrease in our funding, again, we're going to have to decrease hours, and that will be likely impact us system-wide. If it were to fail, we would need to go back out and re-engage with the public around what those impacts would be. Of course, we would try to minimize them, but it would be a very drastic impact to our services. That's how we've worked with City Legal as well as Bond Counsel on how that ballot would appear for the voter. And what we're looking at is it's 7 cents per thousand. Again, that's the same rate that we've had approved by the public in the past. And finally, the Board of Trustees' recommendation. We did hear concerns at the last briefing around the February timeline. We did talk with our board about those concerns, and they still believe that February is the best time. In fact, we had met with the Spokane Public Schools Board, as well as our friends at the park, about a February timeline. And really, I think that aligning it with the schools who's already going out, and their strategy is going to be not a tax increase. They want that impact to the taxpayer to remain the same. Really reinforces that partnership that is so unique in Spokane between the libraries and the schools, and to continue on with that message. I think that that's a very positive message for the community to hear, to see different government entities working together in a very positive and collaborative way. I think that we can't discount what that means to the public moving forward. Also, the 3 years, I had said before, it allows us to really strategically spend down our reserves to a more appropriate amount, while at the same time maintaining the service level that the community has been enjoying over the past nearly 10 years now. That's about all I have regarding the levy, so I'm going to open it up to questions.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I was reading an article recently talking about a library system in Ohio and how they've seen dramatic increases in popularity of audiobooks, digital books, things like that. And to right size between print and digital is going to cost them an extra $2 million a year. And I'm just wondering, are we seeing those same spikes? Is that a concern that...
It is a concern. We're very cognizant of limited resources, so it's always a balancing act for us. People assume that digital ebook resources are free because there's no print cost. Well, it's not true. Often the publishers charge libraries more per copy than they do a citizen because we're checking it out to multiple people. That doesn't exist for the physical world of books and materials. So it's kind of a unique situation that we're in. I do know that there are some interest groups that are trying to right-size what that cost could be. So there's a coalition nationally that's trying to address that issue.
Okay.
But we're always balancing. We really try to pay attention to what formats people are using and try to purchase appropriately.
Well, and I appreciate the idea of trying to right-size this, and I just want to make sure that we're not going to run into trouble in a couple of years with, those increasing costs.
And we'll be looking at moving forward of what is the appropriate collection size for the community.
Great.
I want to say this. So What you didn't talk about today, excuse me, was your campaign plan, because this indeed is a campaign. And almost everybody up here running for city council had a campaign plan,
Yep.
including how much money needs to be raised to get the word out, how you plan to get the word out, all the things surrounding a campaign that we would do, you're going to need to do. So we'd like to hear what that is.
Sure. So this will be the third campaign that I've run
Yeah.
since I've been here over the past 10 years. We are very, very intentional, and we often go all out in our information campaign. So we will be talking with all the service groups, the neighborhood councils, as many as we can. We have our materials already lined up around what the communication points would be. We really feel a high amount of confidence in our ability to deliver on the information campaign. We've done it before. You've seen the success. I don't know if there's a council member on this dais that has seen a 71% approval rating by the public, but our message really does go through. The council president said, possibly her.
I'm not modest. Just
But
so you
it's
know.
it's a daunting task, right, to get
is.
that communication out. But we have really fulfilled on our efforts in the past. In talking with Spokane Public Schools, as well as Spokane Parks, should we be going out at the same time, there is an interest in having a joint advocacy campaign, much like you would see with an elected official. So I think by combining our efforts with communication and education, as well as if the PAC were to move forward, that would be persuasion and advocacy. I think that there is strength in numbers. I think that Spokane Public Schools really has a strong advocacy system in place. They haven't had a measure fail since the early 70s.
Do you have a budget
For the PAC,
for the campaign?
and again, I'm going to clarify, is this an advocacy campaign or an information campaign? Because I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Whatever it's going to take to get this passed.
We have a budget. We have a budgeted amount in our information campaign. As a government entity, I would not make a budget for the PAC. That would be up to the volunteers to bring that together.
Do you have those in place already?
We're waiting for council to put this on the ballot before I can make that decision.
Okay.
Okay.
I just recognize that all the different ways we now use our libraries that we didn't before. I was just evaluating how often I have used rooms at the libraries for the different nonprofits that I've worked with previously that I had paid for, and I recognize just this year I have used one of your rooms 23 times.
Wow.
I also recognize we use you now as a warming center, for better or worse, but that's a new role that you also fill that's very much needed, so I appreciate your work.
Thank you. And I'm not trying to be disingenuous or whatever about the advocacy campaign. I don't feel it's my role to make that decision. That's a citizen's volunteer role to make that. So I just want to be clear that
Yes.
I'm not here to answer.
But you
the
do need a
advocacy.
budget. I mean, you have to raise funds.
And the school's advocacy arm, we will be able to lean on them as we have in the past for the bond campaign.
Yeah.
And again, it's a joint effort moving forward with something like that.
And so one other thing, Andrew, when you get a chance, your briefing paper didn't answer any of the equity questions. So can you go back and look at that and resubmit it so that we have those on file?
Sure, yes.
Thank
of
you.
course.
I would just say, living through one of your last campaigns, I mean, you guys did a great job.
Thank
It was
you.
strong, the message was strong, people were educated. I mean, I don't see that that's going to be an issue.
Yep. I mean, if we're on in February, we can combine those PAC efforts.
Right.
If we're not, then we got to figure something else out.
Right.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next resolution, Resolution 2023-0095, and this will be briefed by Nick Hammond.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Not every day you get to sit in a meeting with such gravitas as to discuss a park levy. So we're excited to bring a little fun to this too. We've been working for quite a while on what our park system needs. And we believe we have a strong idea of what that is as staff, and we feel compelled to represent that. I think we've done that in the past. I won't belabor that too much today. So much as to say, in February of 2021, we began that outreach process. We are here now in the end of 2023, and we hope, our board believes that February of 2024, roughly 3 years later, is an appropriate time to make the ask to the public to actually fund those improvements. So really, there have been 3 deliverables to this process. One was the park plan, the system planning that was done that told us, what our community priorities and needs actually are for the park system, what we should do in terms of recommending changes, and then really the funding challenges that we have that are sort of basic and not unique to City of Spokane Parks and Recreation, but we have expansion desires and needs and deferred maintenance to take care of, and there's funding needed to make that happen. Our executive team then gave us the tools for a levy funding model, a term of approximately 20 years, well, actually 20 years, and the recommendation for the February ballot, and then that levy program of projects and operational changes. And then, of course, the park board gave us an adoption resolution that we're here asking for the park board or the council to consider today, and again, that February timing. And really the tone from all of that was the idea of neighborhood parks is the community priority. Not that one big facility downtown, but out throughout this community, developing and improving the facilities we all use to relax and play and enjoy and recreate. And we know we need funding to do that. And so what is Healthy Parks, Healthy Neighborhoods? As a recap, it is a new levy ballot measure. It would add approximately 10.25, 10.3 million in year 1 if approved. That would be 2025. It would be an average of about 11 million a year when you amortize that out over 20 years. It is proposed on the February 2024 ballot, and it's important to note that as a levy, it's going to be a simple majority to pass. It's a 50% plus 1, not a supermajority, not a 60% measure. Here is your general outline. We've talked about this quite a bit, the green chunk being renovating what you have, improving what you already have in place, your playgrounds, your restrooms, your trailheads, et cetera. That's where our citizens want to see the majority of this funding go, and so that's where we're recommending it be allocated. That 30%, that orange wedge in the bottom left there, being that enhancement of the park user experience, really in people, equipment, trucks, equipment. That's a 50% increase in maintenance workers. That's also the addition of what we call safety initiatives, which is your park ranger program expanding to be able to be in parks outside of Riverfront on a regular basis. Then there's that smaller wedge in the yellow there of acquiring and developing new parks to serve those neighborhoods we know aren't geographically served today in North Indian Trail, in Shiloh Hills, in Latah Valley. So what does it cost? This actually changed since we presented last. We've received some updated numbers from the county. It's actually reduced the median residential cost. One of the numbers we've been referencing was a $418,800 median home residential value. That included commercial property. And we're understanding that when the commercial properties get removed from that calculation, we see that the median residential property value in the city is actually closer to $330,000. So when you see the median residence, you see that number drop from just below 10 to just below $8. But we still wanted to show you that $418,000 residence value that we've been referencing in the past, about that $10 a month cost.
Per month on that $8.
Per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike?
Is that generating enough funds then?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's consistent with our calculations today. Okay. Yeah. So the total valuation of the property values is the same. It's just what that actual subset of the average, removing commercial property. So this is a 5% increase in city overall levy to the taxpayer. This is leaving you just over a quarter in levy capacity available. Of course, we talked about this improving playgrounds, restrooms, neighborhood parks, 3 major park renovations, adding new parks where needed, adding all-weather fields in locations throughout the city that is important. So that's Dwight Merkle and Southeast Sports Complex. And then adding those underserved amenities like disc golf. I cannot tell you how much disc golf is happening at Liberty Park with that new expansion right now. It's crazy. There's a ton of them. And it's really cool to see that positive activation in a space that was underutilized. So operationally, we've talked about this as well. park maintenance, safety expansion initiative, and administration. This is roughly 1/3 in each of the council districts prioritizing highest need. So here's your recap on really improving aging parks where they exist today, adding those amenities, preserving and maintaining our natural spaces, enhancing our maintenance and safety, but really neighborhoods. So that's where we ended last time, and I want to talk a little bit about next steps because we did receive some questions about, do you have your plan together for February ask, right? And so our next steps are really informational outreach. As a city staffer, of course, we're bound by some of the regulation for what we can and cannot do. We feel compelled to make sure that the community is educated in a way that is incredibly powerful. And if we're going to be doing a neighborhood-related ask, a neighborhood-related investment, it's important we reach out to each and every one of our neighborhoods in a way that they can understand granularly, what is it that I get? If I'm in North Indian Trail, if I'm in East Central, I want to know what project is coming to my neighborhood. We can't guarantee timing on all of those things, but we can say what it is that we're expecting to deliver you within the term of this program. So that's presentations, websites ready to roll out February 14th. We're going to hold that one until we have approval. And then it's really all of those social media guides, all of that same toolkit we've been using for our ambassador outreach through our master planning process. We would provide that same information to a Vote Yes campaign. Of course, we do not run that Vote Yes campaign here in the city, but we do have some of our partners who are prepared to have a citizen advocates for parks committee. They exist outside of us, but really we see no path to a successful February vote for us without a partnership with libraries and schools. And that really is dependent upon the messaging platform that Spokane Public Schools can provide to us in parks to be able to spread the word in a way that is so timely with Christmas here and hitting January hard and early December. And so the platform for that for us, really, the guiding mission is improving spaces for us in our community to gather and to recreate, getting families outside or inside, depending on if you're going into a library. And it's that preventative investment in our communities and youth. So that's another key piece of that is getting out there and investing in and keeping people busy and occupied, providing opportunity and reducing those barriers in our parks. We know it's a difficult financial time. I'm making decisions about, my Costco bill is always more than I want it to be. And so I think about how do we reduce barriers to somebody by investing in parks and allowing them then to go to those spaces at no cost every day when they go. So we do take that seriously. There are potential partnership projects that could be featured. That would really be an investment at Franklin Park in terms of an expanded gym space, wellness center, and/or indoor pickleball space. It's really essentially Spokane Public Schools is planning to rebuild Madison Elementary completely. Madison Elementary exists at Franklin Park. As a part of that renovation, there's an opportunity for them to build a much larger gym space that can be partitioned, that can be available and open to the community at no cost to the community members who are going to use it. There's even discussion about whether or not that may eventually be a host for something like the Boys and Girls Clubs, and I can't tell you that that's figured out. But I can tell you that we're making provisions for how we could combine resource to potentially deliver on some of that indoor pickleball, indoor hoop fest, indoor basketball need, or if it's just smoky outside, have a place to go inside. And that central location on Division, close to transit, is key there. The other is all-weather surface fields. This is really a remnant from 2018, from the city's partnership with SPS when Joe Albi Stadium was removed. I think there was a lot of folks in the Northwest that understood that all-weather surface fields were kind of part of the deal. Something would come back to that location, and there's a feeling that we need to provide that. And so really, I think we can clean that up and deliver on what was promised at Dwight Merkle and at Joe Albi with some all-weather surface fields. So that's included as a potential partnership there. But really the advantages here are building community, right? And that we've also heard another thing, and I want to really be clear here, and I'm sorry if I'm carrying on. Our park board felt important that we remain unique as parks from what it is that libraries or what it is that Spokane Public Schools are offering. That we partner together in terms of our platform and our outreach to make it more convenient for neighborhoods to engage, but that we remain consistent with our unique message that parks is parks, schools is schools, libraries is libraries. We're working together. We're separate ballot measures. And we're here, and if you vote for all, you might get a little bit extra in your pot. You might be able to deliver a little bit more, but we still are offering unique aspects of community investments from each other. So it's that collaboration. We spent a lot of time with our board evaluating pros and cons, and I won't go through my jargon here in these boxes, but we looked really seriously at February versus August or November. And we saw, really, our board saw tremendous opportunity with SPS partnership in terms of the platform. We also saw that timely nature of getting out in February as being about 3 years from when we started this process and not wanting to wait another almost a year. From an implementation timing standpoint, if something were to pass in February, it gives our team almost 9 months, almost a year to begin design work, to begin executing contracts, to get ready for funding when it shows up. So in February or May of 2025, we can actually be signing construction contracts and getting work started. And that was one of the criticisms we heard in the bond, was we didn't start fast enough in Riverfront Park. So we want to be ready to move quickly. So there are some obvious cons, I think, in February, and one of those being the weather. I mean, we would love to put signs in every one of our parks, and nobody's out in your parks in the same way you are in August or November in February. Maybe the cross-country skiers, but there is some challenge in terms of weather. There's the discussion about, are we just putting this levy on the ballot because we haven't figured our funding out as an overall city? And so I think there are some things we can manage through that process. But when we look at August and November, some of the cons we see are the unknown. We are open and available to a partnership with another city department that wanted to go to the ballot if they should care to. We just don't know who that is yet. And the fear of the unknown there is quite high with our board. So taking opportunity to pursue a sure partnership was a preference that we heard. So at our park board retreat here in October, just after our PIES briefing, we did receive 10-to-1 park board support for a February ballot and for a partnership with Spokane Public Schools, with the condition that we remain unique and together. And I should also include library in that partnership discussion. And we really see that willingness to collaborate rather than compete. Like I said, we don't see a path to a February success without the knowledge, experience, and partnership of Spokane Public Schools and libraries.
Nick?
Yeah.
Was the one dissent, was that over the date or over the overall proposal?
We had one dissent who felt that it was important that we go in August, and that August timeframe was just generally consistent with its weather, the warm, you can be outside, you can campaign during, you've got softball happening. There's so much going on in parks in August. Why not go then? So it was really a thought initially for November, and then thinking, no, let's target that August. That was the dissent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Ballot resolution text, we felt compelled to include some swanky language in there about what you might get as a citizen, not just, here's what park operational levy for 20 years for 29 cents per thousand, but that this is specifically targeting things like playgrounds, restrooms, sport courts, trailheads, etc.
Questions for Nick? Go ahead.
If we get a constituent who reaches out to us asking, is my park going to get touched? Is my, where would we direct them? What's the best place for that information? Is it the master plan or?
I think today the best place to direct them is us as staff.
Okay.
We are
You'll have a
preparing.
website, right?
Yeah, so we will be releasing a website on the 14th, assuming this goes to the ballot, at which point all of our information will be there. We are also preparing breakdowns by neighborhood council district to be able to say, in this neighborhood, here are the types of work that are happening there. So that's what we're preparing.
So thanks for doing such a thorough job of explaining how you're going to roll this out, what your plan is, and what all of the elements are. I would ask that you do a really deep dive in who your voter is, because a couple weeks ago, somebody came out with this election. People under 44 are not voting. They're simply not voting. And so you've got all the old people voting. Better offer them something in your park plan that's going to entice them to vote for this.
Okay.
Because a lot of them are on fixed incomes. They're going to go, nah, I don't think so. What do I get for it? So do a deep dive on who your voter is. And I know this sounds pandering, but cater to them a little bit.
We're hoping some indoor pickleball might help with that.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm super excited about restrooms. You told me about the Portland Loo. Is there any breakthroughs in new innovations that you've discovered since we met around restroom innovations?
I will tell you, solving restrooms will be one of the difficult challenges to make sure that it works and it's durable. I think there are a couple potential alternatives for us. So I wouldn't say that we have the one-size-fits-all formula. What we do believe is that we have family-style restrooms. So single stall with, the ability for mom to go in there and change the child. It's lockable. You can use that facility. You build it as quote-unquote bomb-proof as you can. Concrete, metal, steel fixtures, you make it durable. And then I think the other thing is you make it winterizable. This is the challenge of the Portland Loo, and that's why I think it serves a purpose in certain locations, but can it be used for longer? Some of the challenges and frustrations we hear for our restrooms are, it's just not open because it's cold and the water line might freeze. And so if we have restrooms when we reinstall them, so our plan is to reinstall more than half completely new. And as a part of that restoration, we actually would like to initiate a design competition here locally, that we commission some of our local architects and we commission some of our nationwide fabricators to say what is the right solution for the city of Spokane Parks. We have a set of criteria, or performance specs, so to speak, for how that works. Typically, that has been pre-manufactured concrete restrooms like what you see in Riverfront Park next to the inclusive playscape. Those seem to work pretty well. When we put 4 stalls in, if one gets damaged, we close it, we fix it, we open up another one, we leave 2 open at all times. So that's worked well for us. It's not the full right solution yet, so I would say we're working toward that. And it will involve multiple types of installation.
Thank you.
Nick, there's a guy on the South Hill who has a pretty innovative porta potty, so not for a permanent bathroom, but called Tidy Hut, and it's a really fascinating deal. But one of the things when I met with him last year that he was working to build into these porta potties was using technology so that if somebody was in there in an inordinate amount of time, there'd be some kind of an alert or something so that a staff person, whatever, could verify that there's nothing, illicit or whatever going on. And I wonder, is that something that we might explore for our bathrooms? Because if they are going to be lockable like you're talking about, that could become an issue.
Absolutely. It has been an issue. We learned that at Mission Park when we started with some of our first CXT restrooms in those locations. Occupancy sensors and mag locks are 2 of the things that are on our list. And so our thought there is an occupancy sensor then allows us to reprioritize our physical assets to be able to go deal with that.
Very good.
So yes, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would just,
Yes, go.
I'll just add one thing. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but just to tell you,
I already have that.
Lori's already Debbie Downer. For Northwest Spokane, please know that I still hear from people who have not gotten over the fact that Joe Albee was not, the stadium did not stay at Joe Albee. So know that, and
Okay.
know that I've talked to people in Northwest Spokane still to this day that will not support another school levy or bond because of what happened with that vote. Not that that's our fault, but just so you know that, and the school district should know that as well. I think it's going to take a little bit more effort in Northwest Spokane than what people realize because of how that vote came down and how it switched.
Okay.
So just be aware of that because they're still talking about it.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
that. And I think
Just
we
so you
did
know.
hear that from our board. That
Yeah.
was part of the, we want to be separate but unique.
Right.
So how can we still
you've gotta
message
find
that
that sweet
we're
spot,
not
but-
Spokane Public Schools, but we're
Right.
in partnership with?
Yeah.
So
And I think just even bringing those conversations, is hitting them head on at the neighborhood council meetings,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is the best way to do it because they're all thinking it, but nobody wants to, bring it up and say, wait a second, we're still upset about what happened, during that last vote. So, just some advice.
So you're ready to go to work for us?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's going to need a job, so.
Yeah. Tell jokes and,
Thank
talk
you
about
for
my
that,
high
Karen.
school.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I brought this up to the board several times, the issues with Spokane Public Schools, specifically the stadium vote. That's why I'm actually a little surprised today as we're talking about this, because I know we talked partnerships, but I thought public schools was one that we had moved on from because of this issue. But overall, I think the park plan in and of itself is is really solid. I think it's going to do a lot for Northeast Spokane specifically, the entire city really, but Northeast Spokane will see some, and again, more drilled down the historically neglected areas throughout the city, not just in the Northeast, but around the city, are going to receive some good investment. So,
Anybody else? Nick, you did a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Nick.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
Nick.
the opportunity.
Then we have 3 ordinances that are moving down into hearings and then moving into the first reading ordinances. We have ordinance C3 2457 as amended, and this will be briefed by Eldon Brown.
Good afternoon. We talked about this vacation in PICE committee a couple weeks ago. 6th Avenue, which is just east of Government Way, in there between Audubon and Government Way. We actually vacated this back in 2000, I think it was October 2000, and we reserved an easement for Comcast. It was AT&T at the time, so we have an easement in that full stretch of right-of-way that's in the crosshatched red. We do have a property owner on the north side who now has acquired all the red cross-hatched area, and he would like to build on that, and he intends to come back to us with an actual short plan, I think, if we can actually get the easement released for Comcast that was reserved back in 2000. So that's what we're intending to do, is actually amend that original ordinance and come back with a new ordinance that would release that original easement that would free the property up for actual development. So, any questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Eldon.
Thank you, Eldon. Next is the ordinance C36461 related to the general facility charges, and this will be briefed by Marcia Davis.
Good afternoon. Okay, here we are again on general facility charges. We had a briefing last, study session last week. So I'm giving you an overview of the ordinance that has been submitted into the agenda package. The council adopted the water and sewer GFCs last March. This is an update to that ordinance that we revised and added some things revised, and also from the comments we received from the Mayor's Review Committee and the Plan Commission. So this updated ordinance would be in force or active in next March 5th, 2024. So what have we modified? We've included fees for a 5/8-inch meter for both water and sewer. We specified that the ENR index will be based on October to October, so we can enact that by January of the next year. We've made the changes to the water zone, to the GFCs, to have one zone instead of the two that was in the ordinance that's in force right now. They've made some clarifications to the master meters for PUDs. And we updated the GFC costs for sewer, taking in the final cost for NLT. What has not been changed in this ordinance is we've still has the MCEs, as we've discussed, of the reason for having MCEs instead of the ERUs. And there's no additional phase-in schedule. This will just be the full cost. And finally, we don't have incentives included in this ordinance, but the plan is that will be part of a GFC, a public rule for GFC incentives that we know the Planning Department, Steve and Spencer are working on now. And these will be, since the ordinance won't be effective in effect until March of 2024, those incentives, the goal is those incentives would be in effect before that. And that's the overview. Any questions?
Keep in mind, we're not going to be voting on this till the 27th. And those of you that weren't at the study session, I would encourage you to meet with Marlene or Marcia to get caught up, because there's a lot of nuance in this. This was a great overview, but we got a lot of detail Thursday, so I would encourage you to meet with either of them. And even if you have other further questions, I would encourage you to.
Quickly, I'll say I'll have a substitution coming for this where it would be on some of the major issues, just one zone, MCEs for both water and for sewer, no interest added, and then a phase-in schedule of an additional 2 years, with this being year 1, March of next year starting year 2, and then March of the following year starting year 3. That's a quick overview, and I'll be sharing a lot more detail with people, but that's the general idea.
Anybody else have questions? Marcia, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcia. And then moving into hearings, I was just going to ask the council if you had any other additional information on these items that have been briefed previously. All right. And that includes the advanced agenda.
Great. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Right. We are adjourned until 6 o'clock. Thanks, everyone.
But when is that?